Hey everyone, Amari Records here, and I know it's been a bit of a slow year in terms of mainstream releases, but there has been genuine quality hip-hop music released this year, and so today, I want to go through 3 albums and 3 songs that I believe everybody should have in rotation at the moment. Alright, first up, The Good, The Bad, The Dollar Menu by Ray Vaughn. If the Joey Badass beef was your introduction into Ray Vaughn, then the perfect follow-up to that would be to listen to his latest mixtape, The Good, The Bad, The Dollar Menu. It's a fantastic mixtape, and it really does feel like a studio album because of how cinematic and vulnerable this project is. It's got skits in it. It sort of feels like a new version of Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City. Now, I'm not saying that this project is the modern equivalent of Good Kid, Mad City, but because of how grounded and realistic it feels with the cinematic skits intertwined, it does sort of feel like that. It deals with a variety of themes, going from addiction, mental illness, and also what it's like to grow up poor. It's a very grounded and raw project, but you're also getting some bangers in here, like Look at God, East Chat, and Clown Dance, with the latter two hosting some fellow TDE label mates, Isaiah Rashad and J-Rock, and they both give stellar performances. You've also got some really memorable bars on here from Ray Vaughn, such as CJ from GTA taught me to drive and very demure bitch never mind on Triple XLT. It's a great project all around, and I highly recommend going into it if you're in the mood for some vulnerable raps, some great production with a West Coast bounce, and to get introduced to one of the most promising artists in the game at the moment. No, let's go into a song now. The song I'm going to recommend now to those who have glossed over the Carter 6, just seeing all the negative reviews and talk on social media. I'm going to recommend to you Welcome to the Carter, which is the second track on the album, but it's the first real song, because the first one is this sort of cinematic intro. But despite how anyone, myself included, feels about the Carter 6, there is no denying the greatness of this song. The soulful boom bap production really makes it feel like a classic Wayne song. Like, it sort of gives me vibes of The Mob. Not that it's similar, but it just feels like that because it's this really lush beat that Wayne is just spazzing on top of. And it also boasts a really good hook as well. Wayne's use of assonance across the song is mind-blowing, and it's exactly what I feel like most of us Wayne fans were looking for from the Carter 6. This track is the epitome of that and what we know Wayne to be capable of. And obviously this song boasts a good amount of standout bars from the album, such as smoking on that Purell No sanitizer. Just great stuff from Wayne. Alright, next album I want to talk about is Lotus by Little Simz, named after the lotus flower, a flower that's able to bloom in the harshest of conditions. The title is really representative of Simz and her ability to persevere through the topics brought up on this album, including everything from her fallout with longtime collaborator Inflow, which she speaks about on the album's intro Thief, to relationships with family and beyond, highlighting the importance of love on tracks like Only and Free. She also goes into run-ins with blockings of creativity. And these themes all make the album's subject matter incredibly engaging because of how unique and personal they are, but this down-to-earth nature also makes the album quite relatable in a lot of aspects. You're getting larger than life performances from Simz all across the album, be that Young, where Simz is channeling the spirit of a careless young adult, or her fantastic vocal range being on full display on something like Lonely, which also has incredible subject matter on it. It's a really moving track. You also get features from Michael Kiwanuka and Sampha, who bring incredibly moving melodic performances as well. They do really elevate the tracks they're on. This is probably my album of the year at the moment, and I cannot recommend it anymore. If you guys liked Sometimes I Might Be Introvert or No Thank You, you have to give this album a listen. It is a must listen. Alright, the next song I want to go into, Old Logic by Logic. The Old Logic and the Old Logic on a track together. That's actually what it is. Logic takes a verse from 15 years ago and pairs it with the verse from this year. It's really special hearing that classic vintage Logic sound with a verse from him now. The bars, of course, it's stellar. You know Logic by now. He is a very high tier lyricist. You're getting some great lines on here, such as Fantastic Four, Fantastic Beats and Where to Find More, and the aforementioned Old Logic and Old Logic line. The production samples MF Doom's Gazillion Ear, and it really does feel like a vintage Logic beat, like something you could hear on the Sinatra series. It's a really solid song, and it really impressed me because, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, Logic is rolling out 6 different albums at the moment. You've got his Cowboy Bebop one, you've got the soundtrack for his movie Paradise Records, the Side Quest album, which is like that rage aesthetic stuff. So he's feeding all sides of his fan base, but I think out of everything he's dropped recently, this is my favorite. Final album I want to talk about for today is perhaps the best concept album we've gotten from a rapper this year, and that is Mckinley Dixon's Magic Alive. It's such an original story weaved throughout the album, and it highlights the importance of friendship and perseverance, whilst also dealing with themes of loss and grief. I don't want to spoil the album's concept to you because it makes the first listen better when you're piecing it together and researching it yourself, but it's such a clever and just original album experience that I just felt so blown away listening to it. It's got jazz-inspired production, which just makes the album feel so vibrant, and Mckinley's use of these nature sound effects pairs perfectly with these bouncy instrumentals to create the feeling of a youthful summer. Like, when you start this album, you will actually feel like, for me, it's winter. So when I started it, I felt like I was just being transported into summer like 10 years ago when I was a 10-year-old. It just gives that feel. It's such a lovely album to listen to, despite some of the very serious topics that it's dealing with. Mckinley just finds the perfect meeting point for a warm sonic landscape and some serious subject matter being spoken about throughout. It's really special stuff. The features are also fantastic, popping in and out and adding to the oftentimes sporadic nature of the tracks. Highlights for me include Ice Cold Bishop, Teller Banks, and Blue on the outro, who has a very short but very poignant verse at the end. And speaking of poignant writing, Mckinley's is just that, and it's also so engaging and creates for one of the best first listens of the year. I'm telling you guys, I cannot sing this album's praises enough. It is so good, but I don't want to say too much because I really don't want to spoil it for you. It's a really good surprise when you go into it and piece it together. And then the final song I want to talk about, Ace Trumpets. I mean, who isn't excited for this Clips album? Everyone needs to be getting ready for it, and what better way to do that than to be bumping its first single. It boasts some esoteric Pharrell production with synths that like pierce your ears in a good way, and then also some strings on the beat switch when the hook comes in. It's a really amazing beat. Like, Pharrell, one of the greatest producers of all time, wouldn't expect anything less from him. It's also got so much classic Clips wordplay that I feel like we've been missing from a lot of rappers today, like Push's line, "White glove service with the brick, I am Luigi," or even Malice's line where he says, "Dressed in House of Gucci, made from selling Lady Gaga." Just fantastic heights here, punchlines and lyricism. This is such a fun listen as well. And also the cover art, that Cause cover art, I personally love it. I don't understand why it's like getting a bit of hate. But yeah, that's gonna conclude the video. I hope you guys can take some recs out of this. Let me know anything that I should be listening to in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and hit notifications so you don't miss any more uploads. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.